Hi church family, I hope you are keeping well and that you are making the most of this very strange season that we are in. I just wanted to send you a quick video to remind you of the church-wide Zoom call that we have next Wednesday evening when I will be interviewing Corey and Julia and Patrick as part of the journey that we're on together to discover the role and the releasing of deacons here at Kingsgate. I'm just very aware that you may have joined us partway through the journey. You may be listening to this thinking, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Darren. I've not heard a talk of deacons. Or you may be sitting there thinking, yeah, I'm completely in, I understand. So just to gather us all up before Wednesday, I just want to give you a quick rundown of why this matters, why we're doing it now and not waiting, and then just giving you a couple of resources that you can look at if you're needing a little bit more background. And then I have a great question that we have been asked by one of the church family that we wanted to answer before Wednesday. So, why are we doing this now? Why can we not wait? Well, in the New Testament, there are only two functional leadership positions within church. There are elders and there are deacons. We have elders, we don't have deacons, which means that to maintain and increase the health of Kingsgate and to make sure that we are building biblically, we need to find deacons and deploy deacons. Now you may be thinking, so what are deacons? Maybe you've had experience of deacons in previous churches and you're not really sure if you want to go there again. Well, we have done quite a lot of work on actually biblically what is a deacon. So I want to remind you of three things that we've talked about. First of all, the biggest attribute, characteristic of someone who is serving as a deacon is that they release elders to be elders. As elders, Adam, myself and Dan, we are called by God to serve the church by preaching the word, by praying, by serving the flock and leading you and fathering you. But as you, I'm sure, are very aware, there are many other things in church life that have to be done. Things that have to be organised and dealt with. And actually, the more that we are involved in those things, the less time we have to do the things that God has called us to. And so deacons are the kind of people that take hold of things and enable things and grow and secure situations and ministries within church life in a way that releases us from having to be so involved. Also, they are people of good character. It's not just about practical skill. Actually, character comes first. In fact, deacons, actually, the requirement for them is to have the same character traits as an elder. And also they are people who are chosen by the church family. They're not appointed by us as elders. We don't decide who deacons should be. Together as a whole church, that is a job that we need to do. You can look at some biblical frameworks for this. Acts 6 is a good place where we see the very first deacons being appointed and chosen. You can look at 1 Timothy chapter 3 verses 8 to 13. That will give you some characteristics and some real character traits of deacons. But this is something that's really important for us at Kingsgate to do together. If you need some extra resources just to catch yourself up, you're not really sure, there are a couple of sermons we've preached on this. You can find the sermons either in the media section on our website or you can get them from iTunes or Spotify. Just look up We Are Kingsgate Sermons, I think they're stored under. You'll find one from the 21st of October 2018. Quite a long time ago, that's how long we've been on this journey. When I preached a sermon looking at the biblical framework for deacons. And then there's another sermon from earlier this year on the 20th of February when Adam preached a sermon much more looking at deacons here at Kingsgate and how they will function. So please do join us on Wednesday for this Zoom call when we will be discovering more about the guys. I will be asking them a few questions and trying to get them to reveal a little bit more about themselves so that you can get to know them. This is a decision and a process that we all need to engage in together. And on that basis, we have been asked a question by one of the church family. And the question was simply this: what is the difference between a deacon and a ministry leader? Now you may be thinking, Darren, I don't even know what a ministry leader is. Okay, at Kingsgate, ministry leaders are the people that head up a certain area of church life. So that might be Lorna leading the kids' work, Nick leading youth. It may be the person who's leading tech, or leading heading up Sundays, or heading Richard in the kitchen. Any number of people looking after a very specific area of church life. So how do they differ from a deacon? Primarily, it's about an area of function, but it's also about a type of gifting. So a ministry leader, their area of responsibility is very contained within their area. So Lorna heading up kids' work, she has authority and responsibility for kids' work. The difference with a deacon, if you remember, and if you don't, please do go back and find Adam's sermon from February, when he gave us the image of a tall ship, one with a big mast, loads and loads of sails. I'm sure you've seen them, pictures of them. And then actually in church life, we often get sails that are flapping and loose. They're not tied down properly. They're either things that we are doing that aren't really functioning very well, or things that were functioning but somebody's left, things have changed, and now it's a little bit loose and wobbly. Deacons are the kind of people who, because of the gifting that God has given them, they're able to look over the whole ship, find those sails, and then work with the church family to secure the sail or pull the sail in completely, and really work out how to best make everything function the way it's supposed to. So it's subtly different from a ministry team leader. Deacons will have a wider authority, which is why it's so important that together we understand why we're choosing them. Now, a good question would be, why are we suggesting 3 people? Because if you read Acts 6, the people chose the deacons. And actually in future, that's exactly what we want it to be like. But we're very conscious that as these are the first 3 names that are in the frame, if you like, that actually we wanted to give some guidance so that as a church together we can learn to identify deacons and that particular gifting that they bring. So please do join us on Wednesday when we'll be talking a bit more. You should have had an email with a link in it already that you can click. If not, you can go to our YouTube channel and there will be a link on there. 7:30, Wednesday the 6th. Please come and join us. See you soon, family.